Well, users are getting really cranky about AT&T and their broadband data use curve. We've got Anton Troianovski joining us on the set here to tell us all about this. And there's a great quote in here in your story that you wrote with Greg Bensinger. It says, "I pay for unlimited usage and I'm not getting it."
Yes.
That really sums up the situation, doesn't it? That's from Jordan Hackworth, an AT&T customer. I pay for unlimited usage and I'm not getting it.
Right. So
that seems like a swizz, as we say in Britain.
AT&T has all these customers who's signed up with the company to get the iPhone, back when AT&T was the only company that had the iPhone.
Yes.
And another thing you could get back in the day was an unlimited data plan from AT&T that allowed you for a certain number of dollars a month to consume unlimited data on the iPhone. Then AT&T decided that it would be better to charge users for the amount of data that they use and have you pay more the more data you use, and in effect put a cap on the amount of data you could use. But it grandfathered in these older users. Now AT&T is taking steps to not let even those users
it wasn't
have unlimited data.
It was stepchilded.
Right. So
It was the unwanted stepchilded.
Right. So the new rule is, if you use more than 3 gigabytes of data in a month, your data speed gets slowed down, and so it's no longer really unlimited.
How slow? When we talk slow, is it just like a little bit slower, or
I think
BlackBerry
significantly
browser slower,
right.
or
We don't. That would be a fun test to do, actually.
Yeah.
I think we don't really know how slow, but significantly slower.
because AT&T sort of doesn't consider this a limit
Right.
somehow, right?
Right. Right. But
So the speed, it says you get the data, but we're not going to give it to you very fast.
Right.
Right. Now, Sprint is making hay with this, actually, aren't they? Sprint, because their adverts are, who'd want to slow anyone down
Yeah,
on this
well, at
magnificent
this
device?
point-
That's the advert we've seen.
Right. I mean, Verizon has done the same thing. They, in terms of no longer offering unlimited plans. T-Mobile doesn't offer
But they
unlimited
also don't
plans either.
slow, right? They don't offer unlimited, but they don't, suddenly put, goo on the road
Well,
to
they
slow you down.
Verizon slows.
Yeah.
Right. It's a more limited sort of approach.
Right, exactly.
yeah.
So Sprint is the only one of the major national carriers that still has an unlimited
Verizon
plan.
and AT&T both slow you down.
Right.
Sprint doesn't on your unlimited use. But there is the alternative of you basically just saying, here's the cap, and if you want more at full speed, you just pay more.
Exactly. And so look, the big question here is, going forward, as people use more and more data on their smartphones, who's going to pay for these wireless networks to be expanded, and how much will the phone companies be able to make off of this smartphone boom? Right? There's clearly so much value being created by this technology, but there's lots of different camps that basically want, the money from there. There's Apple and other hardware makers, there's the app developers, and there's the telcos. And so I think that this is part of that big, broader game being played out. Who's going to be able to profit from this and how much?
So, go on.
Well, no, I was just going to say, the reality is, for consumers, basically, that the era of unlimited plans is at an end, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
that you're going to have to decide when you use data, how much you're willing to pay for that. And it'll be a decision that you make, maybe not with every video, but maybe with, whether or not it becomes a habit to watch a movie, on the train every Friday night or something.
But this chap who said, I presume it's a guy, I pay for unlimited usage and I'm not getting it.
Right.
Is he, Jordan Hackworth, is he going off to Sprint to say, oh yeah, that's what I want?
Well,
He's gonna break the contract.
that's what he threatens to do.
He threatens to do. He threatens to pull the
Yes.
plug, snip, snip, gone.
Yes. And so for Sprint, they got the iPhone last year, so they're clearly hoping that this kind of thing will happen a lot.
We've also committed to buy, some enormous number of iPhones.
Right.
Some, very large number that I could hardly believe. To Drew's point, though, the era of unlimited would seem to be sort of coming to an end fairly quickly. And shouldn't it always have been that way? I mean, remember the sort of what they call the travesty of the commons? If everyone's allowed to graze their cattle for free on a piece of ground, everyone does, and there's no grass left. But if you have to pay, then everyone uses it judiciously, right? Isn't that the idea?
In theory. And we don't know, we don't know yet how this is actually going to impact this sort of whole mobile ecosystem. Because in theory, it's not just the customers who would have to pay for this. I mean, another thing that we reported last week is that AT&T is considering a plan that would let basically the app developers and content providers who sell you stuff on your smartphone be
yes.
the ones that pay for the data.
Yeah, but you always pay. The consumer, in the end, the consumer always pays. That's what I learned in economics. There is no free. There is no
Yes.
free.
Yes.
It's true. Anton Troianovski, thank you very much.